Sitaram and welcome. Firstly, I'd like to thank University of Trinidad and Tobago for giving us this opportunity. And as mentioned before, the topic tonight is the Ramayana from a sociological perspective. So firstly, one of the things that needs to be mentioned is that Ramayana, right? It is one of the epics that we have all grown up with. It's a story that from young, we all know the story of Lord Rama. And its application to society is greater than one would actually think. But before I begin, I'd firstly like to give you a little introduction on what is sociology. At its core, sociology is simply the study of society. It is the study of humans, human interaction. It is everything around us. It is our culture, it is our traditions, it is our norms, and it is our values. So basically, when you look at the Hindu community, what would be our culture, what would be our traditions? That is what sociology would explain to us. Right? Sociology is formed looking at institutions. We have the external institutions, which are largely our political and our legal systems. And we have our internal institutions, which is the family, education, and religion. Right? The discipline of sociology sees society as a human body. So just as our heart, our lungs, and our intestines must all function in tandem to ensure that our body is functional, so too all the institutions within our society, they must function in tandem, in consensus, so that we can all be a functioning society. So within sociology, there are many, many perspectives. There's the functionalist perspective, there's the Marxist perspective, there's even the feminist perspective. However, the one that most aptly applies to our society is that of the functionalist perspective. The functionalist perspective sees society as being a consensus. It means that we all have these core value systems that hold us together. These core value systems that we all believe in and that we all ascribe towards. And therefore, for us as Hindus and those of Indian origin, that is our dharma. That is our culture, those are our traditions. And Ram Leela is one of those core values that holds us together as a community. So, as I said before, the functionalist perspective. The functionalist perspective emphasizes, like I said, consensus and order. And for order to happen in a society, we must all work together. And according to the functionalist perspective, anything in society that is not functional is seen as bad and not worthy of being in that society. So one of the core and one of the main scholars of sociology is Emile Durkheim. Durkheim saw society as being held together by something known as the collective conscience. The collective conscience believes that all of us as a population share common value system. So that at our core we all believe the same things to be right and the same things to be wrong. This is called the collective conscience. And while looking deeper into this topic, one of the things that I realized is that the collective conscience is very synonymous with our concept of dharma. Dharma prescribes the right way of living. It is a way of life. It is held together by the principles of virtue, duty, and morality. And so is the collective conscience. The collective conscience holds us together and tells us what is right and what is wrong within our society. So therefore, the collective conscience within sociology is then synonymous with our concept of dharma. When we look at sociology and we look at the concept of a society, what holds us together mainly, and as I said before, the most external influence on our behavior is the legal and the political systems. When looking at what binds us together, those are the laws. And laws are richly derived from our legal text. When you look at the law, there is something known as divine law and the eternal law. As per Aristotle and Sir Thomas Aquinas, as a good law student, you learn that most of the law is derived from God and God's scriptures and those who believe in Him. So therefore, when we come together as a society and we follow norms and laws, it is very synonymous with religion and what is derived from it. Now I wish to explore the various teachings within the Ramayana, and specifically from the characters within the Ramayana that teach us many sociological lessons. The first is, of course, Sri Ram. Sri Ram is known as Maryada Purushottam. It means he is known as the ideal man. Sri Ram has many virtues, many morals, and many principles which make him known as being ideal. One of the first institutions, as I stated before, is that of the family. The family, at its core, is what holds society together. And Sri Ram gives us the greatest example of what it means to be an ideal son, an ideal brother, an ideal family unit. The prime example that I could have thought of to describe Lord Ram as the ideal son was when he upheld King Dashrath's promise to Queen Kaikeyi. In so doing, he did not question, nor did he go against his father's wishes. He simply accepted and he went along with. This highlights his ideal as a good son, as the great son, and the type of son that we should all, and daughter, that we should strive to become. And why is this important from a sociological perspective? Sociology, and especially the functionist perspective of sociology, will tell you that the family is the core and the prime socialization agent. Therefore, it is stated that our family is where we learn to be human beings. It is where our human personalities are developed. And therefore, it is where we learn what is right and what is wrong, and conduct that is good and conduct that is not. So, according to Durkheim, the family is where we learn to be human beings. These are where children are taught the early ideals. And therefore, the lesson that the Lord teaches us is to obey and respect one's elders and parents. And it is here that it's not just obeying elders and parents, but it's here where we learn to obey and to respect the rules, not just within the household, but it will later translate to respecting rules of the law, rules of the workplace, and rules outside of the home. Another lesson that we can get from Sri Ram is that of being the ideal student. Education is at the core of our society. This is one of the most important things. And Lord Ram is the perfect example of the ideal student. It is stated in the Ramcharitmanas that he would listen to the Vedas and the Puranas with rapt attention, and he would himself expound the truths to his brothers. Lord Ram was a great learner and a great student. And this translates as a great example for the children of our society and the children within our community. Because the education institution, according to sociology, provides that bridge between the home and the workplace, the home and the outside world. Education as an institution is that which teaches us and prepares us for the outside world. And by learning to be the ideal student and learning the culture in which goes along with the educational system, it provides us, it prepares us for a life ahead. marriage and society, Lord Rama was also known as the ideal husband to Mother Sita. Lord Ram is the perfect example of what conjugal living ought to be. One example that comes from the Ramayana is his support of Sita's decision to accompany him into the forest. While at first he did point out the many disadvantages of her going, he eventually gave in and allowed her to fulfill her duty as a wife. This shows that within conjugal relationships and any relationship, there is that decision-making power and there is that equality and egalitarian relationships. So therefore, Lord Ram is the ideal example of a good husband. Good governance. From reading the Ramacharita and the many different versions of the Ramayana, one of the core principles that comes out is Sri Ram as the ideal ruler, as the ideal king. Ram Raja, that is the place in which Ayodhya was known as under Lord Rama's rule. Ayodhya was described as being without worry, without chaos, and without calamity. And this is very important, especially for today's society, when there are many different examples of what politics and our legal system should look like. Lord Rama, as the ideal ruler, presents a very good example of good governance. Order and democratic system was what he ruled with. And it presents a very good perspective for any aspiring country to learn in which consensus and order can be maintained for success and progress. Mother Sita. Sita Mata is known as the ideal woman, the counterpart to Sri Rama. She has all of the right virtues and all of the right characteristics which women should ascribe towards. Sita was the beloved daughter of Janak, and she was raised with all of the great virtues of a woman. And it is said that all men should strive, if we were to follow the Hindu Dharmic way, on the life and the pathway of Rama and Sita. She was a continuous follower of Patni Dharma, as she was a dutiful wife. This is seen in her insistence to accompany Sri Rama into the forest so she can fulfill all of the duties and the promises that she made. From a sociological perspective, the scholar known as Talcott Parsons suggests that within any family and within any relationship, which he at the time pointed to the nuclear family, however, while this is not the only family type today, he points out that within any relationship and within any family structure, there must be an equal division of labor. He sees men and women as having specific and certain roles which would contribute to having a functional family and therefore a functional society. Therefore, he states, and if applied to the Ramayana, we see that should we conform to the roles as described by Mother Sita and Lord Rama, we too can have a functional family and a functional way of life. One of the core lessons I remember growing up was that Lord Rama is known for conquering evil and showing that good shall always prevail. In a society which is mixed with many good and bad features, we must look at what is the difference between a good person with great ideals and a good person with wrong ideals, if that makes any sense. Ravan was a great devotee. He was a great scholar, yet he was seen as being very evil, or as we would say, a wrongdoer. So therefore, it brings the question of what was truly the fundamental difference between them. And what we understand is that Ravan stood for qualities such as lust, greed, ego, pride, and envy. And these are qualities which man should never have. Therefore, if we learn that on a pathway of dharma and for society to be in consensus, to be in tandem, and to be functional, man should stray from qualities such as these, such as the greed, the lust, and the anger. And therefore, for society to be stable and to truly progress, we must follow a dharmic way of life. The other part of looking at the Ramayana and its sociological perspective is how Ram Leela in itself affects society today. So yes, we may look at the Ramayana and all of the great teachings from it, but how does Ram Leela and the practice and the enactment of Ram Leela contribute to our society today? According to the functionalist perspective, religion stands as an element within our society, as an institution which binds us together. When we all come and we sit in prayer, we sit in satsang, it teaches us to form that common value system. It teaches us to come together as a people and to stand for what we believe in. And this, according to the functionalist perspective, is what will strengthen our collective conscience and our ability to be a functional and cooperative society. And Ram Leela has a great impact in bringing us together as a people. It has so many great benefits, and therefore it is one that should continuously be practiced. One of the greatest complaints I think that we hear now is that youth are straying from religion. We hear that youth and others are engaged in other activities, they're very taken up in social media and an environment that is not one that follows the path of Dharma. According to Durkheim, as I stated before, the family is seen as the main agent of socialization. And it is stated that due to the change in roles in the family, as we see now, many women are now going out into the working environment. We're no longer nuclear families. We're not just a mother and a father and children. They're single parents. There are many different types of family forms. And this is what comes with a modernized world. And therefore it is stated that because of these changes, the family no longer is as influential as other institutions such as mass media. And therefore, because of secularization and because of these influences, some youths are turning away from religion. However, by participating in Ram Leela and other activities such as Krishna Leela as well, youths are then guided onto a path of dharma and righteousness. By coming together within a group activity, they not only get to engage with members that are also their age and within the same community setting as them, but they are also able to learn the lessons of the Ramayana through that enactment. They are able to better appreciate and understand the principles of the Ramayana. So it is not just, we put on a costume and we go there. No, we understand what it means to be Lord Rama, what it means to be Mother Sita. So therefore, Ram Leela is very good in having that youth integration and having society come together to become functional and to become that aim of being, socially ordered. Another great benefit of participating in Ram Leela is that sense of belonging. According to the functionalist perspective, when one comes together within a group, they feel that sense of belonging. They feel as if they are part of something greater than themselves. And by participating in Ram Leela, youth and other members are able to come together to participate and to create something that is long-lasting. They learn to work on their leadership skills. They learn to work in groups. They learn to work with others from different environments. And therefore they learn to conform to what is the rules of a group and what is the social setting of a group. And in so doing, they learn to be functional members of society. Another great benefit of Ram Leela is the creativity and the creative expression in which it allows. The many elements of Ram Leela, dance, music, song, costuming, it allows for individuals to express their individuality and their unique sense of style. It helps people to hone their talents and hone their creativity so that they can become more than just what is on an academic paper and what is simply what they think they are. They are allowed to be expressive and to be who they are. Cultural promotion. One of the greatest benefits of continuing the practice of Ram Leela is that it promotes who we are. It promotes our unique ancestral history. It promotes that deep-rooted culture and tradition which we hold so dear. And Ram Leela, therefore, is one of those enactments that continues to not just promote Dharma and the right way of living, but it allows for us to revel and to appreciate our history and our unique past. That brings me to the end of my presentation for tonight. Are there any questions?
Well, thank you very much. This is our next generation taking over from us, and I feel really happy that I could get old now. I'm not old yet, but I could get old. Say again? Yeah. So,